Annie, will you, in your own words, tell everyone why I have a podcast?
I'd love to. Well, I mean, it's no secret that we're best friends. So we were just chatting one day, as we do. And actually, we weren't even chatting. You just popped into my head because I guess with the with the reboot and everything. And obviously you have quite a good TikTok following, like honestly, even better than me. And
we're gonna go into Patreon. Are you excited?
Okay, I'm really excited.
Ask some questions. Very first question is from Tanisha, who wants to know, will you be back for the reboot?
Oh, that's the burning question that everyone wants to know, question. Tanisha. TBD. TBD. I mean, let's just say as of now, no. I'm not like hiding information. But you never know. They're in pre-production. I've heard some rumblings of some other things, not necessarily to do with me, that are interesting. About potentially someone being back, not myself, but you know, seems like they're open to it. And I mean, obviously I would love to be involved in some way, but right now I don't think so. But
oh my God, look at you go. You're so good at this. Oh my gosh. You're doing okay. Ashley wants to know, when was the moment you realized being part of Degrassi was going to change your life?
Oh my gosh. I mean, pretty early on, because I was already a Degrassi fan. I don't know if people know this about me. I have talked about it in a few interviews, but I was like not your level, but I was a big Degrassi fan. I like every time it was on TV, I would watch it. I kept up, but then before I got cast, I think I was watching it in season 8, and that's when I thought, I was watching it and I just started acting, and I was like, I could be on this show. And I said to my mom, I'm going to be on this show someday. And she was like, okay. And that was only in season 8. So I turned that dream into a reality real quick.
You did it.
So
oh my God.
That year, like 2008, I got some of the box sets, and I was like, I got back into Degrassi randomly in 2008, and like still not knowing that I was going to be on it. But I guess since I was acting and I was their age, I was sort of like, oh, I see this in a different light now, and I want to go back and watch the ones that I haven't seen. So then I watched all of them from the beginning. I haven't seen them as many times as you, but I've definitely seen every single episode one time, and then some episodes more. And then I was on the show, so I knew what a big deal it was when I got cast on the show. And I think, coming into a show that already has such a fan base, like I had seen how some of these other Degrassi actors had gotten famous before me, and also and even Toronto famous. Like I would see Degrassi actors around. Like I remember I was always into acting, but my parents wouldn't let me do it professionally until I was like 14. But I was always doing like acting classes and whatever. So I went to this performing arts summer camp thing, and I was in one of my classes with Jake Goldsby.
Oh my God.
Who played
Toby.
What's his name? Toby. Yeah.
That's also my cat's name.
Yeah, Toby. So he was in one of my class. I was like 9. So he was a few years older than me, but like that was celeb status. Like I was like, I am in acting class with the Jake Goldsby. I have made it. So, I've always kind of knew, like Degrassi has always had this lore. So I knew exactly what I was getting into, and I couldn't believe it. And I think I was just a little worried my first season because I didn't know exactly how long I was going to be there. And then when Landon, who played my twin brother Declan, was leaving, I thought that I was going to have to leave too. So I was really scared. And so I think coming in season 10, when I had 2 back-to-back A plots, I was like, okay, this is like, that was a second life-changing moment for me, because I was like, oh, I am a character in this show.
You're the it girl. You were like a main character. Like the main character of Degrassi.
Yeah, but it wasn't until my second season that I really felt that way. So that was a good question.
Crazy. Sarah J wants to know, if you could play any character on any Degrassi series, who would you choose?
Ooh, love that question. Okay. Well, I know I actually was going to message you after one of, I forget which episodes of your podcast, but Ellie was my favorite character before.
I did not know that.
Before Fiona. Yeah, I loved Ellie and Craig. So, and I don't know if you know this about me, I had the biggest crush on Jake Epstein.
I did know that.
So I would want to be Ellie because, I mean,
you want to kiss? Oh my God, that's so
yeah,
funny.
I want to kiss Jake Epstein.
No,
but everyone knew
my leading promo of this.
Pretty much what Ian did for you to meet me, Ian would do that for me anytime Jake Epstein was somewhere. Like we went to see some of the plays he was in, and Ian would always be like, come backstage. Oh, this is Annie. And he's like, oh, hi. Nice. Like,
oh my God. Ian is
so, I mean, I'm
hero.
not that fan level. And like, he definitely, I don't think he knows who I am, but I definitely was fangirling when I was on the show. And also from watching it, like Craig was my favorite. I loved Craig and Ellie. Like, you should have seen me in Degrassi Takes Hollywood, that ending. When
Degrassi Goes Hollywood. If you say the title wrong, you're gonna get canceled.
Degrassi Goes Hollywood. Takes Manhattan is what I was thinking. When I was first on the show, so Degrassi Goes Hollywood was just airing as we were shooting season 9. And I remember they invited me to the premiere of that. So I was like, this is crazy. I had just started working there. So to see all of, like the Degrassi people was so cool. And then we got to do another screening for it, like at work. And so all the new people were watching it too, but I was the only one who cared. And I screamed at that airport moment because I was actually so excited, and everyone was like, cool, okay, we're watching this movie. And I was like, this is major.
Oh my God. I get it. I would absolutely lose my freaking mind. Oh my God. That is so exciting.
I forgot about that. You're like really taking me back with all of these questions.
Good. This is amazing. I love hearing about you as a fan because like I'm obsessed with Degrassi. So like
are you?
Yeah, I have a few things, like some pillows and stuff. I've seen a few episodes.
Now that I see, you
tattoo.
do have a poster there, don't you?
Jacob. Oh, he is. He's on it. He's right there. Look at him every single day.
I love it. Oh yeah, I said the title wrong, and it's literally right behind your head.
It's literally right there.
Yeah, I see the date there, so that makes sense because we started shooting that summer. So jogging my memory.
Came from Sam. Picked this up from the set of Degrassi for me.
Yes, amazing? I think that was in Steph Cohen's office, who was like, who's major.
I thought to ask where the stuff was at. Oh
I recognized that from her sitting in her office on so many lunches. I'm pretty sure it was.
And it's in my bedroom.
Yeah, that's huge.
It is huge. Oh my God. I have to move on because I will freak out. Oh my God. Okay. This next question comes from Evie, and it's one that I've actually been very eager to talk to you about. The question is, basically, when did you find out that Fiona was gay?
I found out that Fiona was gay in the read through of that episode. And you might have known this story too, but I'll tell it again. So always before something, like in read throughs, no one knows what's going to happen at all. None of us know what's about to happen. And we all are literally reading it out loud and making it so, like, as we're reading it. And then we have a big conversation about it, which was really cool that they involved us. Like, they would ask us, what do you think about this? And we were totally free to be like, oh, this doesn't make sense. Or I think they would say it more like this or whatever. So, in your past episodes, when you were talking about how they really cared about what real kids were thinking, they still do, which is cool. So I knew that the only time you get information before a read through is if your character is going to die. So that's what I had heard. That had been like, it's not like even said that to me, but it's like, that was the sort of word on the street. It's like, that's the only time
you're going to get shot.
You. Yeah, because they just want to prepare you. And they're like, by the way, you're not on the show anymore, maybe. So, and usually that's a conversation beforehand. So I guess maybe with some plot lines, and I just didn't know this, if your character's going to have a huge change, then they decide to do that as well. But I didn't know that. I had only heard about death. So I get to the read through, see all my friends, I sit down, look at my script, and then we're about to start and we're about to turn the page. And then Linda stops the meeting and goes, "Oh, Annie, can I speak to you for a second outside?" And I was like, "Oh my God."
I did not know this. I did not know this.
And I was like, that's it. I'm dying randomly in this episode. And so I'm so nervous. I'm like already sad. And then we just go outside of the room and she's like, "Okay, so yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this before, but yeah, in this episode, Fiona like is discovering her sexuality and she comes out as a lesbian." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Great.
Oh my God.
It scared me. I thought, and she was like, "Oh, I just wanted to I meant to talk to you about it before, but I just wanted to make sure you're comfortable with that." I was like, "Yeah, I don't care." Like,
oh my God. You're like, 2 minutes ago I was dead. This is fine.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh my God, that's amazing." I'm like, I'm gonna have a great great plot line now.
Oh my God.
I was so relieved. And then so that was the only time I think in those seasons where I got to kind of hear before everyone else what was about to happen. So it was actually really exciting for me.
The very last question I have, I actually love this person. This person, I found out about them on one of my TikTok lives. Their name is Nikki Petter, and they are a high school teacher that incorporates Degrassi into their lessons. Isn't that so cool?
Gosh, Nikki.
I think that's amazing.
I know. That.
I'm
that's
like,
very
I want
Linda.
job.
Very Linda.
Yes, right? I was like,
so proud.
You're just like her.
Yeah.
She wants to know, is there a specific episode topic moment that you think is important or valuable for her teenagers in class to see? No pressure.
Oh, yeah. Because all of them, maybe not the twincest. Let's leave that one out. I know that you were talking about in one of your episodes about, I think it was in the abortion episode, because I totally forgot about Sarah Fisher's character being super Christian and then having feelings for Adam. And that, I don't know where, Nikki, you're located, but I feel like that's kind of an interesting one for the polarizing times we find ourselves in, I feel like people are either on one side or the other side. And I feel like it was cool the way Sarah's character sort of was raised one way and then came to school and sort of had her eyes open to other ways of thinking. I think that would be really important for kids today to learn about, because I feel like everything we're getting from the news is you're either on this side or this side, and not enough listening to one another and maybe being open to changing your mind.
You are so good at this. Oh my God, that was a great answer. That was amazing. I also love every time you've answered a question and referenced my podcast. What a validating feeling. That's amazing.
I did my research.
I have my
yeah, no, I had no idea what this was going to turn into. I mean, like I told you, I didn't even know before the read through, and I didn't know what was coming at all. Charlotte and I still always laugh about that scene where I kiss her and I grab her shoulders. We just think that is so funny, the way I grab her shoulders. It's so non-sexual the way I kiss her. So it's cute, it's she doesn't even know. It's such a friendship kiss. And I kind of loved that. I get why you like Chasing Pavement so much, because I love how Holly J handles everything, doesn't change our friendship. I love how Fiona comes out to Anya. That was also one of my favorite scenes, because I've always said this about Degrassi, and I think you've probably said this too, they're so good at making their characters be well-rounded. It's she's gay and she's this and she's directing the play and whatever. It's not oh, we've brought in a person to be gay and everything's about them being gay. It's no, they're just a kid living their life in high school. Also, they're gay. Also, they're dealing with alcoholism or whatever it is. But that was just so exemplified in that scene with Holly J and Anya, where Charlotte, like Holly J makes a comment and then Anya's like, what? And I'm like, oh, I'm gay, by the way. And she's like, okay, cool. And then it's just moving right along. I love how they wrote it. They just wrote Fiona to be so dynamic, and every day or like every read through was like, what is this girl getting up to now? And it was like so exciting. Like I wouldn't have wanted to play any other character.
Oh my God, what a great answer. And that episode brought us here to the Degrassi Kid Podcast. Isn't that amazing?
Full circle. It's full circle. I can't wait to come back.
I can't wait to have you back. I have about 50,000 more questions that I want to ask you myself, but I've learned a lot in time management, and I've learned how many questions I can actually get in a podcast. So that's great.
And we also spent a good hour and a half on the timeline of our friendship.
That was mostly for me. I don't know if anyone will want to listen to that, but I'm like, I'm going to listen to it all over again every day. Every time I'm going for a walk, I'm going to be like, I'm going to listen to this.
Let's listen to the timeline. Let's lay it all out.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for thinking of me to start a podcast, because now my life is completely different.
Yeah, I'm so glad. And every review and positive comment I see, I'm like, yeah, I told you. It makes the most sense ever. And I feel like by the time the reboot comes around, you're going to be famous.
I'm going to be famous. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Annie. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you have the best night ever.
Thank you.
Kisses, bye.
Okay, kisses, bye.